jurors.
Well, that's good.
Perfect.
Howdy.
So you were a juror too, Jerome. Jerome, you were a juror too. You got called as a juror too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the voucher.
Me too.
Haven't run across yours.
Yeah, well, you're not gonna see mine.
Oh. Were you on it?
He heard it up there. Oh.
Good work.
Sure, I think we're entering into a contract with them. But,
The juvenile rates are raised.
the deal we got here, and crossed out Union County, but
Again. Doug, do you know how high the juvenile detention rates are go to?
Probably close to $200.
Is that bad?
Yeah, we're required to go to pier now because they close here now.
Also, this agreement
Well,
with,
the county commissioners over there just approved an increase for the juvenile rates over there. So are they gonna reopen it?
No, it's just for them themselves.
Oh,
They put us in that district pier.
okay.
so why do I have this?
It's just their standard agreement they send out every year.
Just so we could use it jail. Not the juveniles gotta go the other way.
Yeah.
So like,
Unless something's
I'm
changed.
assuming we're gonna sign it, but I just, we're gonna change it right hand underneath. And like where it's got Hawkers, you're gonna put, because it's got Beetle County on there, there's a spot there.
Yep. There's, and I put my sticker on it.
Yeah, you got the sticker.
Yeah,
right there.
there's a line running through it. So, yeah, you're right.
Sign above and put hand down here. Ready to go? Oh, yeah, it's done. Call meeting order.
I'll summarize the consent agenda for you. The December payroll ledger is available by link. The registrar's report, I mistakenly put the wrong file in the URL. And since we're so close to the next meeting, I didn't change it. The library board's minutes and financial report are available by link there. You'll be approving the payment of the claims that you're working on presently. The minutes of the December 5th meeting with one change. So if you look at your agendas, you'll see that the subsequent DOT requested that we have the full title of that program listed. So what you see in italics is the change. Otherwise, the rest of the minutes did not get touched. And then for approvals, we have wage changes, and these are the result of and acquisition of CDM. So it's Kathleen Harvey at the library for $16.13. Stephen Davis, CDL, up to $20.01. Trey Blazing, same. Your name is the same. And then Randy Peck is the transfer, and that will be at $20.93.
Randy also didn't get a increase in wages for his class A. Will he be paid higher than everybody else at the highway department then?
Sure.
That's gonna be a very popular.
Do you think that'll be very popular?
No.
I
What was the 2093 number?
That's the equivalent of the salary.
Another $2 an hour. I would think that maybe, when he's at the highway department, I would sort that out when he's working at the highway department, he would be the same as.
I don't know that you could without getting.
I think that deal with Randy, to me, table that for a little while, because there's a lot of questions that gotta be answered on that. There's tons of questions, and they haven't been answered. And I've had several calls from the weed board, and they're quite concerned that if he goes to an hourly rate, that they'll have that they're gonna be paying overtime to him through the summer months. Right. And
Yeah, there's.
they're worried about it. And they got a legitimate worry.
Yeah, there's also.
Yeah,
That's how normal.
but if you have a salary, that takes care of that portion of the problem.
Right, that portion of it.
I don't think he puts the definition of the salary. We could ask for a legal opinion to find out. We have access to an employment attorney.
Well, we got other ones that,
Because he could still be entitled to overtime for salary, but he's not qualified.
but he's not qualified to be salaried right now.
Not from everything I've been told.
Well, certainly not now.
Jerome, did you have a comment back?
Yeah, I got a question. I can't think right off the top of my head, so you put me on the spot. But since the weed board does the hiring and firing, correct? You guys are just the money handlers.
You
We're
would,
the ones who are gonna say, hey, Randy, we're gonna do this. Since when did you come and become in charge?
Essentially, I think that's right. We pay the bill. It's run the show. Is that the way we understand
Well,
that?
and with the conversations that were held in executive sessions, we kind of really wanted them to take the reins and run it, kind of like the library board does. We don't they come to us with what they want. So we kind of wanted them to do the same thing. But now it's kind of looking like we're trying to force something down them that maybe they need to have a little time to look at. That's their biggest concern. They want to have a little more time to look at it. And whatever they decide, I guess we should really take our lead from them, because we told them they weren't doing what they should be doing, and now they're trying to do it, and we're taking that away from them.
Right.
So I think we just need to pump the brakes on the deal with Randy for a little bit. I think we need to look at it right after the first of the year, because we got January and February to work on it. He can go to work for Jeff, but we just keep him at the salary until we can sort something out. Because he's gonna have responsibilities in the job that he's gotta do. And him and Jeff are gonna have to coordinate all of that. There's a lot of, I'm assuming he gets mail that he has to open probably every day. So there's a lot of questions that need to be answered before we just jump wholeheartedly into it. That's my feelings.
Can we just strike that,
you can do whatever you want.
deal off of the consent agenda of Randy's wages or salary?
Yep.
I will make a motion to approve consent agenda with the discussion of Randy's wages or salary stricken from the consent agenda.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none?
Thank you, Jerome.
You got 3 plats to consider. They're available by link on there. One is the E.S. Weasler edition. The other is Muller Outlot 2 and the Van Asperen Outlot 1 and 2.
That Van Asperen one, it's all been,
The only thing missing that I know of is the township has approved it, but there's no reason to believe they wouldn't.
Okay, but we've passed them before without the township, haven't we?
I think.
I don't think we
I mean,
had the township.
It doesn't become official until it circulates through all the other offices, so. I don't see a reason why you couldn't do it as it is.
Do we have to do it separate, or can we do them as a group? Or what do you think would be better?
I think we can do them all together. We'll just do like we did with those.
Each
The
one.
same, assign the same mover and the same seconder.
Move to approve.
Do we have the plots?
Yes, you want to see them?
No, just as long as we have.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
We had a copy.
Right.
Seconding Jim's motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then,
Before we get into the budget resolution hearing, I know Hannah's here. You want to take over? She just wanted to brief you on the deal with the library. She doesn't want you to make any decisions, so.
Okay, I can't get approval from you guys today because I wasn't on the agenda week, but just so you know, we had 3 proposals turned in for the wall installation project. And the library board chose they were all very similar, and only like $150 difference between the highest and lowest. So we just went with the lowest bid, and that was Joe Zeller's. Would you like copies next week at your meeting to see all 3 proposals? Okay, so I can bring those copies.
Were they all 3 local, Hannah? or
Yeah.
just one?
They were all 3 local, Joe Zeller, Mike Wiener, and Mike Donlin. I think that's all that I have.
thank you.
Thanks, Hannah.
You bet. Thanks.
Next time is your budget resolution, but before we do that, if we can go through the financial stuff. So, what I did is I left it in my office. Oh, here it is. So as far as expenditure budgets go, if you want to pull them up on your electronic devices, the commissioner's budget had 16,000 and change in unspent funds. The contingency sits at 140,000. Elections is 3256 in the hole, so it's on the resolution to bring it up to 0. The judicial system had a balance of 13,900. Auditor is 1597 in the hole. Treasurer is 1137 and above. State's attorney was 27.6 above.
You must be going off different numbers than we have, or?
Yeah, because we did bills today.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's that crappy part about the timeline.
That's fine, I just want to make it.
Court appointed attorneys is 42 and change, 4,200. The abuse and neglected children defense fund is minus 340, so that's on the resolution. The custodian's budget was 121.127 in the good. The DOE was 36.7 to the good. Registered deeds was 5,700 to the good. The BSO ended up with $131 left over. Predatory animal, that's set by statute, that was $7.31 to the good. The sheriff was 13,000 to the good. The jail was 9,200 to the good. The coroner was 6,400. The rebel site was 17,000 to the good.
How'd that happen?
There was supposed to be some fencing projects to be done. They didn't get done. Care of the poor, that's the one where we got the money back, so that ended up with a surplus of 27,000. The nursing, the community health nurse, is 15.9 to the good, and that's because we've not been getting billed. But I've also heard tales that it's not always open, even though it's only scheduled for 1 day a week. So, put that for what it's worth. Mental health was 8,600 to the good. Library was 9,600 to the good. 4-H was 2,531 to the good. Weed and Fest was 57.3 to the good. Zoning had $620.
What's still good?
Pardon me?
So there's lots to the good.
Okay, so roll two, transfers out. This line item is $1,757,000 in the hole.
I just took all your good out of it.
Yeah.
That's all good.
And that's after taking into consideration what wasn't spent the other ones.
After consideration of what?
Taking into account the balances in the other one. That's under the resolution. The road and bridge ended up being $319,000 to the good. The debt service for road and bridge was $73,000 to the good. The 911 ended up $1388 to the good. And emergency management ended up being $1,511 over, and that's on the resolution for a supplement. Those other ones were transferred by contingency.
Is that because we haven't been paid?
Because
Yeah.
we have, but we ended up doing a supplement today anyway, so it's just included in this end of the year one. Domestic abuse, that's at $1,500, right where it's supposed to be. The 24/7 fund, that was a zero. The MVP fund for the year was above 673. And then the TIF, we ended up 2,100 to the good. And LPC, no, the rate, we balanced that at the last meeting, so that was zeroed out. And then the hospital debt, we're trying to figure out what happened here, because this is actually got only 75% of the budget spent. When the contract's written, it should be 100%. So we're trying to find out why that's not the way it's supposed to be. There's LEPC, $285 to the good. So the resolution details. On TV. Anyway, Luke's got a copy of the resolution. And it spells out doing contingency transfers. The one issue you're gonna have is that you don't have enough money to supplement the transfer out.
Okay, when you mentioned the commissioner's budget was left, that isn't the contingency commissioner line item.
No, that's the operational.
Okay.
Yep, and I did have a note on here that I need to back up to, because I didn't pay our insurance because I thought we were gonna be, your budget would be in trouble. So because you have that 16 available, I'd like to use that towards our premium and pay the balance next year. If you're so inclined,
Why would we not want to do that?
I just need your permission to do it, because it's not part of the bills that were part before you.
So are we going to have a motion at the end of all of this to approve what you're proposing? And that would be a portion of it?
This one would be separate because it's a special item, but the question to be resolved is what to do about the contingency transfer, the transfers out being that deep in debt. You can approve a supplement to that budget based on when the cash arrives, because right now we're cash poor. Carolyn told me that she had a conversation with the treasurer and the balances have been the lowest that she's ever seen.
Okay, what's the contingency left for us?
Right now?
Yeah,
Right now it's 140.
can we use that?
No, because it's already in the formula.
It's in there already.
It's in here, right?
It's not spent, it's just, so rather than thinking of it as cash that is returned, it's just not spent. So when it shows the balances on the report, that's already considered as unspent budget.
Why did she think the receipts are lower than?
The bank balances?
The
She
cash
monitors
balances.
them.
But the receipts are lower than the balances.
The balances.
The receipts were at 99%, I think, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, clerk, text.
Well, then what does account for it?
We're spending too much money.
Well, aren't we doing it according to the budget we set up?
Not really, that's why your transfer out budget is $1 million something over.
I mean, we had too many surprises every year or what?
These are all the transfers.
So there was no resolutions previous to that accounts for any of that 1.7?
Yeah, you did the transfers. But ultimately, there wasn't enough money left to cover. Remember when we talked about having
Yeah,
carry, there's not enough carryover.
I mean, the road and bridge cash balance is fine. But I guess we already did the transfer.
So we approve it contingent upon receipts.
Yeah.
Have we ever done that before?
We're gonna get beat to tar out of it,
Have any other companies ever done that?
not that I'm aware of.
Plowing new ground, aren't we?
So we've always cash flowed, we've never,
To my knowledge, this is the first time it's ever happened. There might have been close in 2002, but my records don't go back where I can see that. And then in 96 and 7, we went through a period where there was budget cuts and wage freezes and, what did we go, 7 years?
That was terrible.
Was it 7 years? We went without a raise? 5 years at least. And then we all were instructed to cut 10% of our budgets and
That was way worse than this.
Our expenditures for snow removal from the first of the year on, that ran up, what did you say, about 400,000 after the first of the year?
well, the road and bridge fund itself was in the hole when we started 23. So that's kind of what started the slippery slope. And then we did the transfers. It was budgeted for $1,250,000 if I remember right.
so is this cash balance right on here? What, is there an updated one?
You mean with all the vouchers tonight?
That's still what it reads, because we don't post these bills until you guys approve them. And that's where Carolyn went in and hand wrote these numbers on there. So that cash balance doesn't reflect paying the bill. Want to know what my crystal ball says?
What?
It says that January, February, March, probably gonna be pretty lean. I would suggest that you exercise control over spending to the smallest degree.
When would we have to pay for that Lamb Chevrolet purchase?
Probably when it arrives in Oneida.
When's that gonna be?
It's actually sitting in Oneida. I
Oh, it
forgot.
is,
Yeah,
So that's gonna be right off the bat, we're gonna have to pay that one.
yeah, and I don't, I hate to say that it's an insignificant punch to all this.
50,000, almost.
Right. It's just that as we go into the next year, you just have to be really, really cautious with any kind of discretionary spending. Personally, I think you need to communicate to department heads that if you don't absolutely need it to survive, don't buy it.
I guess we could make that decision at each of the first 3 meetings of the year, couldn't we?
Yep.
I mean, individually with each department head.
We're gonna have to, sounds like.
Now, the good news is that Jeff got the checks from the auctioneer, but that will go into the road and bridge fund for the.
What was the total on that?
96,200.
Wow.
Okay, so, what is the? I mean, I get that we're gonna get dinged on audit. But, Do you have what our first 3 months of expenditures looks like from the general fund? 'Cause I mean, it looks like to me that the road and bridge will be fine at this point, especially with an influx from the.
Yeah, and the, excuse me, the crappy part is that once we transfer it in there, we can't transfer it back out.
Well, that's what, hindsight, 2020, we probably could have trimmed that last transfer down, but.
But we didn't know the money was coming.
We didn't. Crystal ball is often cloudy.
Yeah, well,
Reality bites. Well, do you need a motion to approve, what you're proposing then?
Yep, resolution
Yeah.
23-24.
Okay, and it's on here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and he has a copy. I can read it to you.
Is, Doug, would that other item that we were talking about be included in that?
No, that was, you want to do that separate.
Separate?
This is that bill for insurance.
Yeah.
Separately.
Okay, I would move we approve the resolution.
Okay, you want me to read the be it resolved section?
Yeah.
Okay. Be it resolved, the Hand County has the following supplemental budgets. B, and the same is hereby approved for the purpose of providing budget to conduct the indispensable functions of government, to wit, in the general fund by transfer from commissioners contingency. Lists the numbers: 2 elections in the amount of $32.56, auditor, $1,597.44, abused and neglected children's defense fund in the amount of $340, general fund transfers out in the amount of $1,196,125, up to that amount. And then the emergency management by supplementing the budget in the amount of $1,511.41.
This will be a roll call vote.
Yes.
I'll make it in a second, yeah, though.
So just let you know.
you made the motion.
Yeah.
Second. I have a lot of options.
Craig?
Aye.
This
Dan?
is, yeah, aye,
Jim?
Aye.
Jim? Aye.
memorializing what we've already done, so.
The policy 23-08 was the facilitation of seasonal exchange of manpower between weed and pest and highway. You can scratch that. And we just did the financial report, unless you want me to give you more details as far as the cash fund balances, the expenditure reports, revenues. Revenues, we had a good year for revenues, but we spent what we brought in, so.
So in the event that we draw down, so is there any requirements for cash balance that we have to maintain?
They really hate negative numbers.
Yeah, I hate negative numbers.
Oh,
so-
They don't like us.
No, that's the damnedest thing.
Yeah.
You can't go over 40 and you can't go less than 0. Basically, we're just living off borrowed time until we get revenues.
Right, I'm just,
But the budget we sat for this upcoming year, we kind of took in the fact that we were gonna be at a negative number here. If I'm not, if I'm.
We were anticipating a very, very low carryover.
Right,
Yes.
so if we can trim some, we should. It hopefully won't be hopefully it's a 0 and not a negative.
Right. If it were my house, I would say we're going to postpone any major expenditure.
Yes, as of tomorrow.
yeah, and I'm completely, I just, like, technically speaking, what does a negative number mean? I mean, we're working on an operating line at that point, or?
No, it means that we were, I hate to say this, but we're going to be spending money that's reserved for other functions. Because it's all still one bank account.
Right.
So the checks aren't going to bounce. And that's what we're going to get in trouble for. The alternative is that you borrow money to put in the general fund, but then we're sitting on money for other purposes.
And you're just talking about these other fund balances, like,
Right. As long as it's above the 700s, because the 700s is all money that belongs to somebody else.
Yeah.
Susie also did say that the township did sign off on Van Ashford's plan, so that's good to go. Okay, you want to hear from Shane?
Yeah.
He's gonna do it by phone.
Is he okay?
Hello.
Hey, Shane.
Hey,
Floor's all yours.
okay. I've been paying attention. I know everybody's in a great mood. So, the first thing on my agenda is the Ford Explorer.
That's money.
So, I guess it's here. It's $1,000 cheaper than the Durango. It's here now. We don't have to wait till October. It will save us probably about $5,000 in upfitting it with the equipment, being we can transfer everything from the existing Explorer. I know that Jamie needs a vehicle, so ours would go to her. I guess I'm requesting permission to purchase that vehicle. It will be right away. So there is that, but I guess if you have any questions on that.
I agree with him because I also talked to a friend of mine that's in the sales business. And if we don't get this car, we probably won't get another opportunity.
That wasn't figured in on the resolution.
Nope. Because it's gonna be, the money will be spent at 24.
Right.
We budgeted way more than that, didn't we?
Yes.
49.
It just means that we just
I
have to be careful.
I think first as well, means that he can move the equipment from the existing vehicle into this vehicle, because that was gonna be another, if you went with the Dodge,
Yeah.
that was gonna cost quite a bit more, and then we'd have this equipment that we would just have.
So we have, saves us money and then we have to pay for it right away.
Well,
Yeah.
It looks to me like we either do it now like it was planned, or we just put this purchase off for another whole year and.
And it's gonna cost more.
Yeah,
I mean, it will.
I agree with that, but
I guess I need to.
we're the ones that came up with the bright idea of a regular rotation plan for them vehicles.
I'd move to approve the purchase order.
Second.
All those in favor?
I
Opposed? And then motion passed. Go get it.
Okay. The other item is we got approved, or I shouldn't say approved, we have a contract signed with the Angela Kennedy Foundation to have that community awareness meeting with the school, bring awareness for opioid addiction, and have her come speak at the Miller School District. We, the total cost, sorry, I'm reading while I'm talking. The
32
total
and a
cost
quarter.
is, pardon?
32 and a quarter.
32 and a quarter. The Miller Area Foundation already agreed to pay half of that for the deposit, and me and Doug would like to pay the other half out of our opioid fund.
And that qualifies to be able to be used that fund for that, so I don't see any problem with it.
I would move to approve that.
in a second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Everything else is just updates. If you have any questions on the yearly stats, what we did this year, and Deputy Price and Alpazar, they both passed their first phase of testing at the academy. Only 2 more to go, and everything's going good. We're a little overwhelmed downstairs, but everything's going good. So I guess if you guys have any questions.
No,
Do this.
You can do that at any time.
Okay. I don't think we have any more questions for you.
Okay, did you guys get a copy of our year stats?
I forgot to include it in the agenda, but I'll make sure they get it.
Okay. Well, that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you,
All
Shane.
right, thank you.
thanks.
I guess before we go any further, I've got a contract here with, Beetle County. I don't know what the agreement was before, but it's $95 a day per prisoner for their, jail services.
What's Boston?
Last I knew they were higher than Beagle.
Were they?
Yeah, I don't know the exact amount.
It seemed like it last year, they were
We were 80,
over 100 for sure.
we were 80, I think.
I was thinking it was 80 or 85, and went up another.
Yep.
But that's what's in front of us. I need a motion if you
Do we
want.
need it now,
I
I suppose?
Well, that doesn't mean we're stuck with them.
No,
No,
there's options, but we just as well clean this up. It's in my,
Motion to approve. that.
can we do it if it wasn't on the
It's
agenda?
not on the agenda though either, so.
We can add it to the 4th, that's very easy.
To the what?
4th,
Okay,
meeting on the 4th,
okay,
so move it to the 4th.
good thing I didn't say.
I think we should do it right, if there's not a time constraint on getting it back to them.
Agreed.
Okay, that's the end of the regular agenda.
Okay, there's something I need to talk to you about this one.
That's part of the
Do we need to do
executive
anything?
session.
Do we need to do anything with our board, county commission interface regarding Randy?
Anything else?
Oh, I don't.
We don't need to make a decision about what to do on that
No,
at this point.
no, I had to make certain actions to make payroll, so I switched it to hourly, but we're switching back.
I guess that's all I've got.
Same paycheck.
Yeah, it's, works out the same, so. I
Can I make a
guess.
motion to
Yeah,
exit
Do we need to
regular session?
I don't think we need to.
We do?
Yes.
Second.
What's that? I made the motion, Jim seconded it.
I need a motion to go into executive session.
You did.
Oh, you did. At
1941.
Let's start calling it.